In this video, you'll learn how to disconnect signals between widgets and how to run them after disconnecting. Having connections between widgets help the flow of processed and intermediate data from upstream to downstream widgets. But what if we want to disconnect a widget and have it run on its own? If, for example, you want to have the bottom download widget, the download fast A file widget, disconnected from the start widget, you can remove the links from the start and download widgets. If we hover the cursor on a signal, appearing as a dashed line currently between the start widget and the download widget, we can see what the specific connection is between the two widgets. The output parameter signal from the start widget appears to be workdir, and the input parameter from the download widget appears to be directory. You can see the effect of this connection when looking at the download widget's download directory entry, which it is currently grayed out for now, but will be filled in from the start widget's workdir parameter entry. Going back to that connection, if we right-click it, there are options to disable the connection by unchecking enabled or remove the connection. Disabling the signal will still have that connection existing in the workflow, but the execution of the start widget will not pass the output to the download widget. This leads to the entry for that connection in the download widget to still be grayed out with nothing filled in until we re-enable the connection. Re-enabling the connection will automatically fill in the value for the entry and continue the workflow execution. Going back to right-clicking the signal, if you remove the signal by clicking Remove, the signal between the two widgets will go away, and the entry for that connection will not be grayed out. This means it is up to you to fill in the value for that entry. In this case, it'll be the download directory. There's another way to remove these connections, but let's reload the workflow back to its original state. So, the first thing you need to do is double-click the connection between the start widget and the download widget, and now we see the existing connection in this format. To remove the signal, single-click on the black line connection, then click OK. If you open the download widget now, we see the download directory section is empty, but you can fill in the directory value yourself. You can now also set the run mode to manual to start the widget when you click the run button. The same process can be done for the connection between the download widget and the downstream Salmon index widget. You can double-click the signal, then single-click the connection between directory and trigger to remove it, then press OK. Now, Salmon index is not dependent on that download widget's execution. After disconnecting the upstream and downstream widgets for that download widget, you can run the widget when you want to manually. If you want to execute the workflow while the bottom download widget is disconnected from the other widgets, you need to account for the remove signal in the run mode select triggers section in the Salmon index widget. Open the Salmon index entries and go to run mode and click on select triggers. The input from Salmon index that the download widget was previously connected to is called trigger, so let's deselect that. If we kept this trigger option selected, then the widget will wait until it receives the input for that specific input, which it will never run due to the missing connection for the trigger. To show why you need to deselect trigger after disconnecting the download widget to the Salmon index widget, let's do the wrong thing and keep trigger selected. Now, start the workflow from the start widget. As you can see, the dashed line from the start widget to Salmon index becomes solid, but the Salmon index widget does not start its execution. This is because of that trigger is still being selected and is waiting to receive the signal from an upstream widget it is no longer connected to. That is why you have to change the triggers in the downstream widget after disconnecting signals between the two widgets. If you were to restart the workflow from the start again with the triggers set correctly, Salmon index would begin execution, ignoring the status of the download FASTA file widget's execution. So this covers the basics of how to disconnect these signals between widgets and what can be done after disconnecting them from each other. Thanks for watching.